welcome everybody, Tala Falava. I'll stick Namaste in as you missed it out of the first time round. Sansri Kau, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here. To our gathered guests, Dame Susan, our chief executives, and all of you who are here today. You're here because it's important. Diversity is important. Super diversity is even more important. And I'm here to support the work that May has done. I think she's raised some questions. She's put forward some challenges, not just for government, but for the private sector. But I think she's put forward a challenge for all New Zealanders to understand what super diversity means and what it stands for and why it's important. And that's why I'm here. And we'll work alongside you, May, through the Office of Ethnic Communities and the Ministry of Pacific Peoples to really dig into why you're doing what you do and why it's important to New Zealand. I just wanted to make a couple of quick comments just to say that, as I've travelled up and down this country and I've hosted ethnic communities meetings and listened to what a number of ethnic communities people are saying, and that's from Kaikoui in the north right down to Invercargill in the south. We've hosted meetings, and we've talked to people, and ultimately that's where we're going to get some of these ideas. And one of the common themes that that has come back to me is that governments just need to be a bit more responsive as to how they deal with the issues of ethnic communities. And we do it well, but I think we can do it better. May's identified, the police as the leading example, and I use the police. I say to Ray, you better hurry up. The Commissioner's sort of getting ahead of you in terms of, sort of best practice. He doesn't mind, but we use the police because they do a great job. They do it. They just don't talk about it. They actually do the stuff, do the work, and engage with ethnic communities. And it's such an important department to be leading the way. Because they're out on the front line, they're dealing with communities, and police do it well. Can we do better across government? Yes, we can, and I think we should. And it's something that I've been advocating alongside my colleagues, that we should engage and learn and listen and use the strength of ethnic communities. In terms of government, I think what the sense I'm getting sort of from business, certainly, and May's touched on it, is that we can leverage diversity. We can leverage diversity. And, captains of business, you will talk to, whether it's Fletcher's, PwC, all the sort of big, corporates in this country, they understand that a diverse workforce, a workforce that is responsive to the needs of their customers and the people that they serve, leads to better outcomes. It leads to better performance in the boardroom, better performance inside their offices, and better servicing of their customers. And I think, in government, we need to just reflect on that message. They also say they don't get it right, and they're doing better. They want to do better, but at least they're having the conversations within the boardrooms of New Zealand, understanding that diversity. That's not just diversity in terms of ethnicity, it's gender, it's a whole range of different things. And I think, we can all take part in that. I think the advancement, we now, I was born in Samoa. I came over here, I shouldn't say really, a few years back, and, when we were taught at home, don't speak Samoan. We were taught to blend in with the culture. You'd walk down the street and you'd be embarrassed to wear your whakara. And I think we've come a long way in the sort of years that when I first arrived in this country. Now there's a pride and certainly amongst Pacific, but a number of the cultures. And there's a pride in how you can speak your language. There's a pride in how you conduct yourself, what you wear. There's also a pride in the culture and the heritage that you have brought from these other countries, the rich heritage. So the point there is that, we're now celebrating Diwali. Those that have seen Chinese New Year right across this country, diversity is part of our culture now. May makes the right point. bicultural, that's our history. European, settlement, that was our history. But the future of New Zealand is going to incorporate all these other cultures and all these other heritages and all these other languages and history. And for me, my favourite is it incorporates a whole raft of different food choices and arts choices. But that's the future. But I think the final point I want to say is, leveraging diversity. That's got to be in what your organisation looks like at the front counter. It's in terms of the decision making and the policy making at the various levels of government. And all the studies will show, all the evidence shows that having diversity around your table, you make better decisions, you will perform better, and ultimately, what government represents is that you will serve the people better. So, I wish you well, and in this stock take and the survey, the responses, the discussion, we're having conversations, and that's why I'm here. I want to encourage you to keep having those conversations and collect the data and find out what people are wanting. Have little, I had a little town meeting in the middle of Kaikohe. It was raining, it was dim, it was dark, but there were 5 people there. I'll tell you what, the opinions that I got that night were as rich and as informative as the big, 150 person meeting that I get in the middle of Auckland. So diversity is up and down this country, it's up and down each of your organisations. And, take up the challenge. Take up the challenge that has been set, I think the questions that have been set by May, because I think New Zealand is a great place to live in. We all know that. It's going to be a greater place in the future. Doesn't matter which flag, it's going to be a great place in the future. And I just want to wish you well and just say, commend the various government departments and the people that represent, government. It's not easy being in government some days. Certainly in the corrections portfolio, I can tell you that. It's not easy some days, but the work that you guys do day in, day out, serving the people of New Zealand, I just want to thank you personally and wish you well. Diversity is a challenge, but diversity is a huge advantage, not just economically, socially, sometimes even politically. Thank you very much.